Emily sat on her bed, staring out the window at the distant horizon. The sun was setting, painting the sky in shades of orange and pink. It should have been a beautiful sight, but for Emily, it felt empty. She missed her best friend, Jake, who had moved away a few months ago. They had spent countless hours together, laughing, sharing secrets, and dreaming about the future. Now, with Jake gone, everything felt different. Jake had been her partner in crime, the one person who understood her completely. They used to ride their bikes to the park, climb trees, and whisper their hopes for the future under the stars. But now, all she had were memories, and they felt like a heavy weight on her heart. Emily felt a sense of distance, not just from Jake, but from herself too. The world around her seemed dull and gray without his laughter. Emily picked up her phone, scrolling through their old messages. She smiled at the funny memes Jake had sent her and the late-night conversations they'd had about their dreams. But as she scrolled, sadness washed over her. Jake had made a new life in a different city, and she felt like a ghost in his past. She longed to reach out, to bridge the gap that had formed between them, but doubts held her back. What if he was too busy? What if he didn't want to talk anymore? After a long sigh, Emily put her phone down and walked to her desk. She picked up a blank piece of paper and began to write a letter. "Dear Jake," she started, her heart racing. Writing felt easier than speaking. It gave her time to think. She poured her feelings onto the page, telling him how much she missed their adventures and how lonely life felt without him. She wrote about her hopes for the future, how she wanted them to stay connected despite the distance. She wrote. The words began to flow like a river, washing away some of the sadness that had settled in her chest. Once she finished, she carefully folded the letter and placed it in an envelope. "I'll send it tomorrow," she thought, feeling a flicker of hope. Maybe this was the first step toward reconnecting. Emily went to bed that night, feeling a bit lighter, as if the weight of her sadness had shifted just a little. The next day, she took the letter to the post office and sent it off, her heart pounding with anticipation. Would Jake write back? Would he remember all the fun they had? The days turned into weeks, and Emily tried to stay busy. She joined a local art class and made new friends, but nothing filled the void Jake had left. Every time her phone buzzed, her heart leaped, hoping it was him. But most of the time it was just notifications from social media. Then, one afternoon, as she was painting, her phone rang. It was a video call from Jake. Emily's heart raced as she answered. His face appeared on the screen, and her heart swelled with joy. "Hey, Em," he said, his smile brightening her day. "I got your letter. I'm so sorry I haven't been in touch. Things have been crazy here, but I miss you." Tears of happiness filled Emily's eyes as she listened to Jake talk about his new life. He shared stories about his new school, the friends he was making, and the adventures he was having. It felt like old times as they laughed and reminisced about their shared memories. Emily realized that even though they were miles apart, their friendship was still strong. In that moment, Emily understood something important. Distance doesn't have to mean separation. They could still connect, share their lives, and support each other, even from afar. She felt empowered by this realization, ready to embrace the future with hope. As their call ended, Jake promised to visit during the holidays, and Emily's heart felt light again. She knew they would always be there for each other, no matter the distance. And just like that, the emptiness she had felt began to fade. Sitting at her desk, looking out at the sunset once more, Emily smiled.
The sky was as beautiful as ever.
And for the first time in a long while, she felt a sense of belonging. They had faced the distance, and together they would always find a way to reconnect. After the video call with Jake, Emily felt a spark of hope igniting within her. It reminded her that friendships could overcome distances and obstacles, but the feeling of longing still hung heavily in her heart. As the days went by, she often reflected on their conversation, replaying Jake's words and his familiar laugh in her mind. The warmth of their connection lingered, but the distance still felt real. And she wanted more than just video calls and messages. She wanted to feel close again. One afternoon, Emily decided to take action. She grabbed her sketchbook and headed to the park where she and Jake used to hang out. The park was filled with laughter and the sounds of children playing. As she sat on a familiar bench, she felt a wave of nostalgia wash over her. She opened her sketchbook and began to draw. The trees, the swings, and the large oak tree where they would sit and talk for hours all came to life on the page as she sketched. She thought about how much she wanted to share this moment with Jake. She remembered how they used to spend afternoons creating art together, encouraging one another to express themselves. It was a bond that made her feel alive, and she missed it dearly. Suddenly, she had an idea that could bring them closer, despite the miles between them. Emily decided to create a special art project. She would draw a series of pictures that represented their friendship, places they had visited, inside jokes, and little moments that made them laugh. Each drawing would tell a story, and she would send them to Jake as a way to reconnect. This project would not only express her feelings but also remind him of their shared memories. With renewed energy, Emily spent the next few days working diligently on her project. She poured her heart into every drawing, using bright colors and expressive lines. One sketch depicted their favorite hangout spot at the old diner where they would share milkshakes and fries. Another showed them riding bikes down the tree-lined streets, the wind in their hair and laughter on their lips. She even drew the stars they had admired together. Shining brightly in the night sky, as she worked, Emily felt a sense of accomplishment and joy. Each image was a reminder of the bond they shared, and she hoped that sending these drawings would help bridge the gap between them. It was a way for her to say, "I care. I remember. You are important to me." Once the drawings were complete, Emily carefully rolled them up and placed them in a tube. With a smile on her face, she rushed to the post office, her heart racing with excitement. This was more than just sending art. It was a message of hope, a way to let Jake know that he was still a significant part of her life. A few days later, she received a notification on her phone. It was a message from Jake. Her heart raced as she opened it. He sent her a picture of himself holding the drawings, a huge smile on his face. "Emily, these are amazing. I love them." He wrote, "You've captured our memories perfectly. Thank you for reminding me of all the fun we had." Emily felt a surge of happiness. Jake's response was everything she had hoped for. They began to exchange messages more frequently, sharing their new experiences and supporting each other through life's ups and downs. Emily found comfort in the knowledge that their friendship was still strong, despite the distance. In one of their conversations, Jake suggested they start a joint project. "Let's create something together, even though we're apart," he said. "We can each draw something and then share our progress." This idea filled Emily with excitement. It was a perfect way to stay connected, allowing them to share their creativity and inspire each other. As the weeks went by, Emily and Jake continued to share their art, encouraging one another every step of the way. Each drawing became a new thread in the tapestry of their friendship, weaving them closer together. They laughed at the silly things they created and celebrated each other's successes. The distance that once felt so isolating began to fade, replaced by a sense of connection that transcended miles. Sitting on her bed, Emily looked at the drawings she had created with Jake in mind. They were a testament to their enduring friendship and a reminder of the hope they had nurtured together. Despite the challenges they faced, they had found a way to reconnect, proving that distance was just a physical barrier, not an emotional one. With a smile on her face, Emily thought to herself, "No matter where we are, we can always find a way to be together." The Galactic Empire may have underestimated humanity, but Emily knew that the strength of their bond was unbreakable. They would always find a way to fight for their friendship, no matter the distance. As time passed, Emily and Jake grew more comfortable with their new routine of sharing art. They exchanged drawings regularly, discussing techniques and ideas as if they were sitting next to each other once again. The distance between them felt less daunting, but Emily still yearned for more meaningful connection. She missed the moments they could only share in person, those spontaneous adventures, late-night talks, and the warmth of a hug after a long day. One evening, as Emily sat at her desk, she stared at her latest drawing of a sunset over the park. The colors were vibrant, and she imagined Jake sitting beside her, offering suggestions and encouragement. But even as she poured her heart into her art, she felt a tug of sadness. She wanted to do more than just exchange drawings. She wanted to create new memories together, to feel the joy of friendship in the same space. Suddenly, an idea sparked in her mind. What if they had a virtual art show? They could invite friends and family to join, showcasing their work and sharing stories about what inspired each piece. It would be a way for them to reconnect on a deeper level and celebrate their friendship in a fun and meaningful way. Emily's heart raced at the thought. This could be the event that brought them closer, together, even from miles away. With determination, Emily began planning the virtual art show. She set a date and created invitations to send out to their friends and family. She included a personal note. Join us for a celebration of friendship and creativity. Let's share our art and stories and remind ourselves of the special bond we have. As she typed, she felt a wave of hope wash over her. This would not just be an art show. It would be a gathering of love and connection. After sending the invitations, she reached out to Jake. Hey, I have an idea, she typed excitedly. What if we have a virtual art show together? Can invite everyone we know and share our work with them. Jake replied almost instantly, his enthusiasm evident. That sounds amazing, Emily. I love it. Let's do it. His excitement fueled her own, and they immediately began to plan the details together. They decided on a video call format, where they could showcase their drawings and talk about their inspirations. They wanted to create a warm atmosphere, just like the cozy evenings they used to spend together, as the day of the art show approached. Both Emily and Jake worked tirelessly. They prepared their art, rehearsed their presentations, and encouraged each other to bring their best selves to the event. Emily could feel the anticipation building within her. She was nervous but also excited to share this part of her life with her friends and family, and to show them how much her friendship with Jake meant to her. Finally, the day of the art show arrived. Emily set up her laptop in her living room. Arranging her drawings on the wall behind her, she put on her favorite outfit, hoping it would give her confidence. As the time drew near, she took a deep breath and reminded herself of the purpose of the event, to celebrate their friendship and the strength they found in each other. When the video call began, Emily's heart raced. Friends and family members began to log in, their faces lighting up the screen. She felt a rush of warmth as she saw the familiar smiles of those she cared about. Jake appeared on screen, his face beaming with excitement. "Welcome, everyone," Emily said, her voice steady, despite her nerves. "Thank you for joining us for our virtual art show. We're so happy to share our creations with you today." As the show unfolded, Emily and Jake took turns presenting their artwork. They shared stories about their drawings, the memories that inspired them, and the importance of their friendship. Laughter filled the air as they reminisced about their time together, making everyone feel as though they were part of something special. When it was time for questions, their friends eagerly participated, asking about their creative processes and how they had been managing the distance. Emily felt a sense of pride as she answered, realizing how far they had come. The conversation flowed smoothly, and Emily could see Jake looking just as engaged and happy as she felt. As the show came to a close, Emily couldn't help but feel a sense of triumph. They had successfully created a space where their friendship could thrive, despite the miles between them. The event had brought everyone closer together, reminding them all of the power of connection and creativity. After saying their goodbyes, Emily and Jake remained on the call, their faces filled with joy. "We did it, Em," Jake exclaimed, his eyes sparkling. "This was amazing. I feel so connected to everyone and to you." Emily smiled, her heart overflowing. "Me too, Jake. This was just what I needed. Thank you for being such a great friend." In that moment, Emily realized that, no matter the distance, they could always find ways to bridge the gap between them. They had faced their challenges together, and their friendship had emerged stronger than ever. As she looked out her window at the stars twinkling in the night sky, Emily felt a sense of hope. The Galactic Empire may have underestimated humanity, but she knew they had the power to overcome any obstacle together. No distance could diminish the bond they shared. After the successful virtual art show, Emily felt a wave of joy and satisfaction. She had reconnected with Jake in a way that felt meaningful and special. However, even as their friendship blossomed through screens, a part of her still longed for the simple pleasure of being together in person. The distance between them still felt heavy at times, and though technology offered a bridge, could not replace the warmth of a shared hug or the thrill of spontaneous adventures. One sunny Saturday morning, Emily woke up with a new idea. She wanted to plan a surprise visit to see Jake. As she thought about it, her heart raced with excitement. Oh. She could save up her allowance and take a bus or train to his city. They could explore together, just like they used to. It would be the perfect way to remind him and herself of the strength of their friendship. But as she sat at her desk, writing down the details of her plan, doubts crept in. What if Jake was busy? What if he didn't want her to visit? But if he had moved on with his new life? Emily took a deep breath, reminding herself of the confidence she had felt during the art show. They had shared so much, and friendship was about being there for each other, no matter the distance. With determination, she decided to call Jake. It was time to share her idea. She dialed his number, her heart pounding. After a few rings, he answered, and his familiar voice brought a smile to her face. Hey, Emily. What's up? Hi, Jake. I've been thinking. I would love to visit you. Want to surprise you and spend some time together. What do you think? There was a brief silence on the other end, and Emily held her breath, anxiously waiting for his response. Wow, really? That sounds amazing, Jake finally exclaimed. I'd love to see you. I've been missing our adventures. Emily felt a wave of relief and happiness wash over her. Great. I'll figure out the details and let you know.
When I can come. As they continued to chat, Emily felt her worries melting away.
She could hear the excitement in Jake's voice, and it reassured her that their friendship was still strong. They made plans for her visit, discussing places they could explore together and the food they wanted to try. It was like a breath of fresh air, filling her with hope and anticipation. Over the next few weeks, Emily worked hard to save money for the trip. She took on extra chores around the house, babysat for her neighbor, and even sold some of her old toys. Each dollar she saved brought her closer to the day she could see Jake again. In her heart, she knew that this trip would not just be about seeing a friend, it would be a celebration of their bond and an affirmation of their friendship. Finally, the day of her trip arrived. Emily packed a small bag with clothes, her sketchbook, and a special drawing she had created just for Jake. It was a colorful illustration of the two of them surrounded by their favorite things bikes, art supplies, and the stars. She wanted it to be a reminder of the adventures they had shared and the ones still to come. As she boarded the bus, excitement bubbled inside her. The ride felt long, but she didn't mind. She imagined all the fun they would have, the laughter they would share, and the stories they would create together. When she arrived in Jake's city, her heart raced. She took a deep breath and made her way to his neighborhood. With each step, she felt a mix of nerves and excitement. What if he was surprised? What if he wasn't home? She reminded herself of their friendship and the joy it brought her. Finally, she reached Jake's house. Taking a deep breath, she knocked on the door. Moments later, Jake opened it, and his eyes widened in shock.
Emily, you came?
He shouted, pulling her into a warm hug. I couldn't wait to see you, Emily replied, feeling a rush of happiness. They spent the next few days exploring the city, visiting their favorite spots, and creating new memories. They rode bikes through the park, visited local art galleries, and shared meals filled with laughter. Every moment felt like a treasure, reminding them both of the strength of their friendship. As they sat under the stars one night, Emily turned to Jake. I'm so glad I came. This reminds me that no matter how far apart we are, we can always find a way to be together. Jake nodded, a smile on his face. You're right. Our friendship is strong, and we'll always find a way to connect. In that moment, Emily felt a sense of joy and hope. They had faced the distance and come out stronger. The Galactic Empire may have underestimated humanity, but Emily and Jake knew the power of friendship could conquer anything. Together, they were unstoppable. After spending a wonderful few days with Jake, Emily returned home with a heart full of joy and memories. The trip had reminded her of how strong their friendship was, even across the miles. However, as she settled back into her everyday routine, She couldn't shake the feeling of loneliness that crept in when she was back in her own space. She missed laughing with Jake and sharing her thoughts in person. The distance felt heavy again, but she was determined to keep their connection alive. Back at home, Emily found herself thinking about Jake often. She started a new sketch in her notebook, inspired by their time together. It was a drawing of the two of them under the stars, the night sky filled with twinkling lights. As she drew, she remembered their late-night conversations and how they would dream about the future together. It made her realize that their friendship was not just about being together physically. It was also about sharing dreams and supporting each other, no matter where they were. One evening, while Emily was finishing up her drawing, she received a message from Jake. "Hey, Em, I've been thinking about you. I really miss our talks. Can we video call tonight?" Her heart raced with excitement. She quickly replied, "Of course. I can't wait to catch up." Later that night, as she set up her laptop, Emily felt a mix of happiness and nervousness. She loved talking to Jake, but sometimes she worried that their lives were drifting apart. What if they had different interests now? What if the distance changed their friendship? But she pushed those thoughts away, reminding herself of the strength they had shown during her visit. When the video call started, Jake's face appeared on the screen, and a wide smile spread across his face. "Emily, it's so good to see you," he exclaimed, and she felt warmth spread through her heart. "I've missed you a lot. I've missed you too." "I've been working on a new drawing," Emily said, showing him the sketch of the two of them under the stars. "Remember? That night we talked about our dreams." Jake's eyes lit up as he admired her artwork. "This is amazing. I love how you captured that moment. It was one of my favorite nights." As they continued to talk, Emily felt her worries slipping away. They shared stories about their lives, their new experiences, and the things they were learning. Jake told her about a new hobby he had picked up, photography, and how he loved capturing nature in his new city. Emily shared her latest art projects and how she was inspired by their friendship. They laughed and reminisced, feeling the distance shrink between them. During the call, Emily remembered how they had once talked about wanting to change the world and make a difference. She felt inspired to take action. "Jake, what if we start a project together? Something that combines your photography and my art?" she suggested. "We could create a photo art book that tells stories about friendship and connection." "That sounds incredible," Jake replied, his enthusiasm evident. "We could showcase our work and include messages about how important it is to stay connected no matter the distance. We can even ask our friends to share their stories too." Emily felt a rush of excitement. This project could not only bring them closer together, but also inspire others to cherish their friendships. They began brainstorming ideas for their photo art book, discussing themes, layouts, and what they wanted to say. It felt like a new adventure, and Emily couldn't wait to dive in as they worked on their project in the weeks that followed. Emily and Jake felt a renewed sense of purpose. They communicated regularly, sharing their progress and encouraging each other every step of the way. Emily loved receiving Jake's photographs, each one capturing the beauty of his surroundings. She would create art pieces inspired by his images, turning them into vibrant illustrations. Despite the distance, they felt more connected than ever. Their shared project became a symbol of their friendship, proving that they could overcome any obstacle together. They even decided to host a virtual launch for their photo art book, inviting friends and family to join and celebrate the importance of connection. As the launch day approached, Emily felt a mix of nerves and excitement. They had worked hard, and she hoped everyone would love what they created. When the day finally arrived, Emily logged into the video call, her heart racing. Friends and family members began to join, filling the screen with familiar faces. Jake joined her on the call, grinning from ear to ear. "Welcome, everyone. Thank you for being here to celebrate our project," he said. Emily felt a surge of joy as they introduced their book, sharing their journey and the meaning behind their work. The response from everyone was overwhelmingly positive. Friends shared their own stories of friendship and connection, inspired by Emily and Jake's project. Emily's heart swelled with pride, realizing they had created something meaningful together. As the call ended, Emily looked at Jake, feeling grateful for their friendship. "We did it," she exclaimed, her eyes shining with excitement. "Yes, we did." "This is just the beginning," Jake replied, his smile bright. In that moment, Emily understood that distance was just a number. Their friendship was strong enough to withstand anything, and together they would always find a way to connect. The Galactic Empire may have underestimated humanity, but Emily knew that the power of friendship could conquer any challenge. After the successful launch of their photo art book, Emily felt a sense of accomplishment and pride in what she and Jake had created together. Their project had not only brought their friends and family closer to the idea of connection, but it had also strengthened the bond between Emily and Jake. Yet, even with this newfound success, Emily sometimes felt a wave of sadness wash over her. The distance between them still existed, and she couldn't help but miss the simple moments they used to share in person. One evening, as she flipped through the pages of their book, Emily came across a photograph Jake had taken of a beautiful sunset. It reminded her of the evenings they spent watching the sky turn vibrant colors together. She longed for those moments again. She wanted to be with Jake, to share laughter and dreams face to face, not just through a screen. That night, as she lay in bed, Emily couldn't shake her feelings of longing. She wanted to spice things up, to find a way to maintain their connection while still feeling close. Suddenly, an idea struck her. What if they started a weekly tradition? They could have a virtual friendship night where they would do something fun together every week, no matter the distance. Excited by the idea, Emily grabbed her phone and sent Jake a message. "Hey, I was thinking, what if we start a weekly friendship night? We could play games, watch movies, or even cook together over video call. What do you think?" Jake replied almost instantly. "That sounds awesome. Let's do it. I've missed our fun times together." The next week, they kicked off their first friendship night. Emily set up her laptop in the kitchen, excited to try cooking a new recipe together. She had chosen to make homemade pizza, something they both loved. As she waited for Jake to log on, she prepared the ingredients, feeling a sense of warmth in her heart. When the video call started, Jake appeared on the screen, wearing an apron and a big smile. "Hey, Chef Emily, ready to make some delicious pizza?" he joked. "Absolutely. Let's get started," Emily replied, feeling her spirits lift as they cooked together. Sharing tips and laughter, Emily felt the distance between them shrink. They joked about their cooking skills, exchanged funny stories, enjoyed each other's company, as if they were in the same room. Emily realized that despite the physical space, their friendship had the power to fill that gap. After they finished cooking, they sat down to eat their pizzas, holding them up to the camera. "Cheers to friendship night," Jake said, and they clinked their slices together virtually. They shared their thoughts on the flavors and laughed at their silly creations. Emily felt a wave of happiness wash over her as they enjoyed the moment. Together, as the weeks passed, friendship night became a cherished tradition. Some evenings, they played video games, laughing at their competitive spirit. Other nights, they watched movies together, sharing popcorn and commenting on the scenes as if they were sitting side by side. They even started a mini book club, where they would read the same book and discuss it during their calls. Each week brought new adventures. Emily found herself looking forward to these nights more than anything. However, as much fun as they had, Emily still felt the weight of distance. Sometimes, one night, while they were watching a movie, she noticed Jake glanced at the clock. "Hey, I have to go soon. I have a big project due tomorrow," he said, sounding a bit distracted. Emily felt a pang of sadness. "I understand, I just wish we could spend more time together," she admitted, her voice quiet. Jake looked at her with understanding. "I know. Wish we could hang out like we used to. But even if we're far apart, we're still friends. Can make this work." His words filled Emily with hope. "You're right. Our friendship nights mean a lot to me, and we'll keep finding ways to connect. Distance won't break us." As they wrapped up the call, Emily felt a renewed sense of determination. Realized that their friendship was not just about being in the same place. It was about supporting each other, sharing experiences, and making memories, no matter the distance. That weekend, Emily decided to surprise Jake with a care package. She gathered some of his favorite snacks, a small sketch she had made just for him, and a heartfelt note expressing how much their friendship meant to her. She wanted to remind him that they were still connected, no matter where life took them. When she sent the package, she felt a sense of joy at the thought of brightening his day. As she lay in bed that night, Emily looked up at the stars shining through her window. She felt hope and strength coursing through her. The Galactic Empire may have underestimated humanity, but Emily knew that the power of friendship could overcome any distance. Together, she and Jake would always find a way to stay connected, no matter what challenges lay ahead. Emily woke up one morning feeling a mix of excitement and nervousness. Today was the day she had been waiting for, the day she would surprise Jake with the care package she had sent. After their wonderful friendship nights and the connection they had built, she wanted to remind him just how much he meant to her. She hoped it would brighten his day and show him that distance couldn't break their friendship. As she got ready for the day, Emily thought about all the fun moments they had shared over the last few weeks. Friendship night had become a cherished tradition, and she loved how they had found creative ways to stay connected. The laughter, the games, and the shared meals had filled her heart with happiness. But even with all that joy, she still missed their in-person time together, the spontaneous adventures, the way they would talk for hours, and the comfort of being close. After breakfast, Emily checked her phone to see if Jake had texted her. He hadn't yet, but she felt a flutter of excitement knowing that she would hear from him soon. Just then, her phone buzzed. It was a message from Jake, and she eagerly opened it. "Hey, I just got your package. Thank you so much. Can't wait to see what's inside." Emily felt a wave of warmth wash over her. "I'm so glad. I hope you like everything," she typed back. "Let's do a video call later. I want to open it with you," Jake replied. Her heart raced with anticipation. "Sounds perfect. I can't wait." As the hours passed, Emily busied herself with her art and homework. But her thoughts kept drifting back to Jake. She imagined his surprised face when he opened the care package, and it made her smile. Finally, it was time for their call. She sat down at her desk, her heart pounding with excitement. When the video call connected, Jake's face appeared on the screen and he looked genuinely happy. "Emily, I'm so glad to see you," he exclaimed, his smile brightening her day. "Hi, Jake. I'm excited to see your reaction to the package," she replied. "Okay, here goes," Jake said, reaching for the box. He carefully opened it and pulled out the snacks first. "Oh wow, my favorite chips." "And is that my favorite candy?" He laughed, clearly thrilled. Emily felt her heart swell with happiness. "I thought you might enjoy some treats. What else is in there?" Jake continued to dig through the box, pulling out the sketch she had made for him. He held it up to the camera, his eyes wide. "Emily, this is amazing. I love it. It's just like that night we stargazed together." Tears of joy filled Emily's eyes. "I'm so glad you like it. I wanted to remind you of our friendship and all the fun times we've had." Jake smiled warmly. "You did a great job. This means so much to me. I miss those moments, but I feel so connected to you, especially with our friendship nights." Emily nodded, feeling the weight of distance lifting.
Me too, Jake.
"It's like we've found a way to keep our friendship alive no matter where we are, and I believe we can keep making new memories." "Absolutely, I was thinking," Jake said, his expression brightening. What if we plan a virtual adventure? We could explore a new place together. I'll take you on a virtual tour of my city and show you some of my favorite spots. Could even try to cook a recipe from a restaurant we both love." Emily's face lit up with excitement. "That sounds amazing. I would love to see your city. Cooking together would be so much fun." As they continued to chat, they began planning their virtual adventure. They talked about the places Jake wanted to show her, the food they would make, and how they could share their experiences with each other. Emily felt a surge of joy and hope. This was more than just a plan. It was a promise of new memories and adventures. Despite the distance, later that night, after they wrapped up their call, Emily sat back in her chair, feeling a sense of peace. She realized that even though they were separated by miles, their friendship was strong enough to overcome any obstacle. They had found ways to connect, to laugh, and to share their lives, reminding each other of the power of their bond. As she looked out her window at the stars twinkling in the night sky, Emily felt a wave of hope wash over her. The Galactic Empire may have underestimated humanity, but she knew that the strength of friendship was something to be celebrated. No matter the distance, she and Jake would always find a way to reconnect and create memories that would last out. Lifetime, with a smile on her face, Emily whispered to herself, "Together, we can face anything." And in that moment, she felt ready for whatever adventures lay ahead. Knowing that friendship could light the way, even in the darkest of times,